Hi, Leah here from So Enchanting Equine Quilt Shop, and today we're going to go over how to advance to the next zone when you're quilting with Quilt Path. So I have just finished stitching zone 3 and we're ready to proceed to zone 4. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to start by cutting our bobbin thread, and we are going to click a button on the screen that says Mark Zone. And it comes with a pop-up up on the screen and it says, have you completed sewing this zone? We are going to say yes. She then moves automatically to the next location that we need to mark. In this case, this is going to be our marker A. So I have some painter's tape here and I have a black Sharpie marker, and we're going to go ahead and put our tape underneath where she is, and we are going to needle down and needle up, or you can also hit a green button on the screen that says single stitch. So since we have marked A, I'm going to go ahead and click next mark. Not to be confused with the continue button. We do not want to hit that. Okay, so I have my scissors up here. I'm going to cut my top thread. And she's moving across the table. And I'm going to let her mark B. Okay. So we're going to needle down, needle up, and at this point we're done marking our points, and we're going to hit continue. It says not all of the markers have been placed. Are you absolutely sure you want to move to the next zone? Yes. Now she says the machine will now move to where the fabric marker for the next zone should be positioned. So we're going to click OK. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let her move, but we're going to take off our side clamps. And while she's moving, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about this. I have a marker, or you can use a pen, but every time that I mark spots A and B, I take a marker and I mark it with the dot where we punch the needle up and down, and I'm going to tell it zone 4. And then I'm going to do this to the other side too, because if something happens during your quilting experience and she runs over our piece of tape that had our one hole in it, and then we can't go back and repair our pattern, we're going to have problems. So to eliminate that, I do this. Okay. So I've got my clamps removed, and now what we need to do is we need to move these marks up to where she is, or approximately. Sometimes you will get so much fabric on the back bar that you can't position your marker there. You can always just get it real close. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to fix my fabric here. I'm going to attach my side clamps. Okay, so we have advanced our fabric, and she is asking us move the marker to 4A, which is really close to where I got it. So I'm going to tell her okay. And I would like to note that anytime that there is a pop-up on your screen, you cannot move the machine head. She's locked in place at that point. So she's asking me again, have you moved the fabric? Touch OK after you move the fabric to 4A. Okay. You can hear my 4-year-old in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle under my dot, and I'm going to tell it A. Okay, and you'll see that there is a red rectangle. That is our safe zone, and I am placing the pattern with A and B. And as long as this screen here where we're quilting is still white, you're safe. If it turns red, that means that you are out of the safe zone and you need to either move your fabric up a little bit more or move it down, but we're good. We know that we have marked A because the A square on the screen has a black line around it. So to save time, what I do while I'm here is I go ahead and baste. So I'm gonna baste A all the way down the side. I'm gonna move the camera. I've gone ahead and basted at the bottom because I am at the end of my quilt, and then now I'm going to come up and I'm going to mark for B on my screen, and I know that it took it because the B has a black line around it, and then I'm going to go ahead and baste the right side. And make sure that when you baste, when you're done, your little tails of thread, make sure you trim those off because she will actually get caught in that, and that's a unwelcome surprise. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look on our screen here, and we're going to take note of where the green circle is in relation to the red circle. The green circle means that is where she is going to start stitching, and the red circle is where she's going to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move her over to the left-hand side of my quilt sandwich here in the relative area where I think it's going to be, and then I'm going to touch the pull bobbin button. So let's go do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and push the pull bobbin button. Grab that top thread because she's going to start moving. Okay, I'm going to hold my thread to the rear so that she doesn't get caught up in the thread. And I am going to leave this thread. I call this my umbilical line because if anything should happen during this pass, I can always go back and fix it by retracing my steps using the A and B and the repair pattern button. So we're going to go ahead and let her sew. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything else you want to see, type it in the comments.